lovely students, my lovely atoms. Hope you all are doing absolutely awesome. My name is Anubha Gaur, your chemistry master teacher at Vedantu, and I welcome you all to this session. So I hope you are pretty excited because Sprint Series is back for ICSE also, as what they wanted, and happening very fast because this is the second session, and that is chemical bonding. One session, periodic classification of elements, is already done. I hope you had seen that. If you haven't seen that video, please see it after session. You can manage accordingly. I'm going to tell you the entire schedule. Please follow it. Okay. So here comes your AG ma'am, Anubha ma'am in front of you. Give me a quick high five. And what are we going to start with? You know that already. What are the main topic of chemical bonding? That's electrovalent bond, covalent bond, coordinate bond, and one of the type of covalent bond, polar covalent, and we'll discuss non-polar covalent also. Okay, so this is the entire flow of the chemical bonding that we're going to have. In what sense? Whatever will be some most important questions of this chapter, we're going to cover it completely. So going to be an important one. Don't miss it, even a single question. Have a notebook and pen with you and start solving with your Anubha ma'am. Revise everything and stay till the end. All right. Everything is clear, sorted. This is my schedule, and some of the sessions are missing. You will get it soon. So it will be totally there. You can download the file and can see that. It's like a shift from 9, 10th, 12, 13, 15, 16, 18, 19, and then 21, 22, 24, 25, 27. I'm going to complete it in how many days? Just a minute. From 9 to 27. So that is amazing, right? Okay. Then not Ankana ma'am, sorry, Ambika ma'am will teach you biology from 8th Feb to 27th Feb, all the sessions, comparatively less syllabus of biology or what so. But yeah, and then Anup sir will teach you physics from 8th Feb to 26th Feb. And math schedule Gopal sir till 21st, 26th Feb, and then SST by Ankana ma'am and English by Shweta ma'am. Don't worry, there's no need to take the screenshot and all. You will get the entire schedule. How? Just download the PDF of the session. You will get it in the comment section. Okay, not comment section, description box. Something is happening to me today. All right, students, and let's start. Before that, I hope you had already subscribed to this channel also. You had already liked the video. Otherwise, do it right now. Don't forget to share it among your friends and tell them Sprintex for ICSE is also happening. So don't miss it. This is very important for exam. Let's start with a very good thing that we always wanted to see and appreciate the students, and in the terms of this, that I'm able to see your homework answer and I can definitely read that out, that who all are the students who are doing a great job and very much excited, that giving the answer right away and appreciating it. So I can say we have Nitin, we have Pramajot 11th, okay, for sure. Khushi, Navya, that's a great job. Bhargavi, Ayushi, Anil, all of you are doing absolutely awesome job, and so happy to see your response so fast and you are appreciating it. Everyone, please keep doing that. Kiara, Naman, Naman is my ninth class student, by the way, and he's following ICSA 10 session also. That's great. Durga, all the time. Anjali, there are some students who always come to the session. So thank you so much for appreciating. And here comes the positive quote of the day. I always want my students to stay motivated and believe in themselves. So believe in yourself and all that you are. Know that there is something inside you that is greater than any obstacle. You know what? This is my favorite quote, and this is something I said to myself also when sometime, that happened to everyone, that sometime we feel not so confident or maybe a bit low. Then I say that, yeah, I see myself in mirror and I say myself that you are the one who can do anything. I just talk to myself. And don't feel like this way. Everything is possible, everything can be done, and don't just lose hope, and always believe. And do that, students. Just believe in yourself, and everything can be done by you. We make mistakes, and obstacles will definitely come in life, but that's the one that makes us a better person and teaches us so many things and give us experience, so that if some or the other situation, similar situation will come, we'll react in a better way. Okay, So that will make you a better person. Do believe in that. If hurdles, obstacles are coming, and it's okay, you can get through everything. All right, students. So here is the motivation, and let's start with the session now. Question number one for 1 mark. State which is not a common characteristic of an electrovalent compound. Let's see it. If you remember each and everything, it will take time how to solve it as fast as possible, like in a minute. When I talk about electrovalent, that's the ionic compound only, nothing new. And when we have ionic compound, you know that they are having a very high force of attraction between them and made up of different ions, opposite ions. And because of this high force of attraction, it's not easy to overcome that force of attraction. That's why they are having high melting point. And when you put them into water or you take them into molten form, their force of attraction is something that we overcame, and then they are almost free in the terms of ions and can move towards respective electrodes and can conduct electricity. So they can conduct electricity in aqueous form and molten form too. Then they are consist of opposite charge. I already told you. So what's that option? That's incorrect. That's not common. That's we don't see is option number D, which is the right answer that we need to select. That ionizes when dissolved in organic compound. Organic compounds are in general not made up of opposite ions. They are more of like neutral compounds. So whenever you put electrovalent, they can't dissociate into ions because that had to attack and make those ions free. And organic compounds can never do that job. Okay, in general, I'm talking about. So ionize when dissolved in organic compounds, not in general. That's what you need to make sure that you correct the right answer. Okay, so this is it. D is the right answer. Let's move to question number 2, which is again for 1 mark. Select the correct answer from A, B, C, D. Metal loses electron during ionization. This change can be called as. And this question, trust me, I've taken so many times. So you just need to remember the statement, and it hardly takes 30 seconds. Leo goes to Gar. And you can also remember oil rig. Yeah. So loss of electron is oxidation. When metal loses its electron, that's getting oxidized. Gain of electron is reduction. Generally, non-metal gain electron, and after gaining electron, we call it that my non-metal is getting reduced. Oil rig. Oxidation is loss of electron. Rig. Reduction is gain of electron. Make sense? So, what will be the right answer? Just give it with me because I told you have a notebook and pen and solve with me. So, the right answer here is nothing but metal loses electron and getting oxidized. See, all the answers are properly attached. So you can download the file from the description box and can revise anytime when you want, especially in your exam time. That will help you. Question number 3 for again 1 mark, and it's very easy. The electronic configuration of nitrogen because of 7 atomic number is 2, 5. How many electrons in the outermost shell of nitrogen atom are not involved? Not involved. Sometimes you don't see no or not word. Negative. Yeah, ma'am, we are not negative people. But sometimes you have to see that specifically in questions while answering an exam. In the formation of a nitrogen molecule, I have to make nitrogen molecule N2, which is a covalent compound, because when non-metal combine with itself, they share their electron, and due to sharing, covalent bond will come. So every nitrogen atom is going to have some of the electron that's not going to participate in the bonding. Those electrons are called as lone pair of electron. We just measure them in pair, and that we needed to figure it out. Nitrogen 5 valence electron 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why I'm drawing in this way? Because you can simply calculate that in hardly 30 seconds. And how come 5 needed 3 electron, need to share 3 electron. So 3 is used for sharing, 2 is left. It's so simple. And now I'm showing you also. So hardly 30 seconds, right? 5 will share 3 from the other atom, 5 will share 3 from the other atom. Mutual sharing of electron, mutual sharing of electrons. That's how you get your covalent compounds. And due to 6 number of electrons being shared, there will be 3 kind of a bonding called as a triple covalent bonding. So this is a pair of electron that is not being used. So question is, how many electrons are involved? How many electrons are not involved in the formation of a nitrogen molecule? 1 and 2. 2 pair of electron in total, and you can say per nitrogen atom 2 electrons are not being used. I think this is super duper clear. So 2 electron, that is not going to involve per atom. Yani ke a pair of electron that we are talking about. All right, super duper clear. Awesome. I told you a trick also to see that. That will be really helpful. And do let me know in the comment section too. Now here comes question number 4, and that is, draw the structural formula of carbon tetrachloride, 4-chlorine, and state the type of bond present in it. So you know that this is a covalent compound. I hope there is no denial in the same, because carbon is a non-metal, so as chlorine, non-metal share their electron and give covalent bonding. Co itself means sharing. We'll draw the structural formula, and then state the type of bonding. They are not asking about electron dot structure. So you can simply draw the structure like this. This is tetrahedral though. If you won't write it, then also it's fine. This is the structure. Okay, structural formula. This is structural formula. This is exactly the structure of the same. CCl4, 1 carbon with 4 chlorine in a tetrahedral manner. State the type of bond present in it. That's a covalent bonding. This is very simple, by the way. But let me show you how to draw the structure. Carbon is having 4 valence electron attaching to 4 chlorine. Why I'm showing you this way? Because that must be easy. 6, 7, and that's something that gives a better diagram, better representation, because I've used some of the brain, and I know you are having enough brain, that carbon's 1 electron on the side of chlorine so that the bonding can be easily done in a tidy manner, because 7 has to share 1 electron. 7 has to share 1 electron. 7 valence electron of chlorine share 1 electron from my carbon and become stable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Let me show that to you. Let's just change the color of pen so that very totally visible. 7 share 1 electron. 7 1 electron, because ultimately they want to have a stable configuration, means they want to complete their octet. Every chlorine atom is completing their octet here. Now let's talk about carbon. Because of mutual sharing, carbon will say, I'll do the same job. 4 electron of its own, and they'll be like, to all the chlorine, share your 1 electron with me. Why 1? Because chlorine also shared 1. So same sharing, mutual sharing. 4 of its own, 4 from more chlorine, they achieve their stability, chlorine as well as carbon. And 2 electron being shared between every carbon and chlorine atom, 2 electron gives a single covalent bond. So I had 4 bond, that is 4 single covalent bond. Okay, that's what they asked. Yeah, so you can do that. I drew the proper structure in both the form, and I think that is super easy. Yeah. Question number 5 for 2 marks. Give reasons. Hydrogen chloride can be termed as a polar covalent compound. Okay, I told you about polar compound. What exactly is that? No, I didn't tell you. Okay, relax. I told you about covalent compound for sure in the last question. Covalent compound is of 2 types. Let's understand that right now. Polar and non-polar. They didn't ask about non-polar, but I thought of telling you this also, so that if a question will come from that, you can do that. Polar covalent and non-polar covalent. Let's see that. Polar means generation of polarity, means charge separation. So suppose I'm talking about Cl2 molecule, chlorine, and I'm talking about my HCl. There is a difference. When same atom comes and there's a bonding between same atom, they are more of like non-polar. Why? Because the difference in the electronegativity of these two atoms is almost zero or zero. Right? What is non-polar? When the two atom is going to attach with or share their electron, when the two atom is having a very less difference in their electronegativity or almost zero, they are non-polar, because they are not going to generate polarity or charge separation. Electronegativity is the, I told you in the last session, periodic classification, tendency of your atom to attract the shared pair of electron towards itself. So that's a property of covalent compound only, polar covalent compound only. Here non-polar, electronegativity difference, delta En, means the difference in the electronegativity of two substances, zero. But when I talk about this, hydrogen chlorine share their 1 electron and got a covalent bond. Chlorine is more electronegative than hydrogen and attracting these shared pair of electron more towards itself. So what do we see? Hydrogen's electron are going away towards chlorine and chlorine is attracting it. So a charge will come on them, more of like a charge separation will be there, but a slight charge. Delta positive, delta negative. Delta positive because electrons are being pushed towards chlorine side. Delta negative because electrons are there towards chlorine side. So that's why a slight negative, slight positive, that means a polarity, a charge separation generate. These are the polar compound. A type of covalent because sharing of electron is something that is dividing into polar and non-polar. Okay, so hydrogen chloride can be termed as polar covalent compound. Yes, because chlorine being more electronegative will attract the shared pair of electron more towards itself and there will be separation of charge. So due to difference in the electronegativity, that's why it's polar. Okay, polar covalent compound is going to dissolve in polar compound. So that can dissolve in water. Water is also polar. I think this is clear. This is very easy. You know what to write. The entire solution will be there in the next slide also. Now we have plenty of questions to discuss. But before that, let me tell you what. Let me tell you about our Vedantu's website, Vedantu's platform, which is very much amazing and can help you to score very wonderful marks above 90s. An easy deal right now because of whatever quality content we are giving with all the special classes. Students at this platform, you can attend unlimited live classes. You can plan it accordingly whenever you have time. You can see a plenty of sessions on your dashboard, your Vedantu profile, and you can choose your classes and in each and every class you'll be able to attend so many quizzes will be super fun because that will give you an idea how much you are getting from the particular topic, and according to the data that we are going to get, we'll revise the particular topic. Suppose we got 90% students giving the right answer, means most of the class got it. Some misclicked it as well. But if the data is like 50%, maybe some of you didn't get it and teachers revised accordingly with the plenty of class teachers sitting who's totally dedicated to solve your doubt. Isn't it so great that your doubts will be solved? If you're having doubts in your particular chapters, you can take at least for a month subscription and can plan your classes accordingly so that there'll be no doubts that will be there from any of the chapter. And you will be able to compete with the students throughout the world. You learn so many things from each other. The best part is interactive replay because in each and every class, after the session, if you want to revise, you can see the replay and can participate in the quiz again. And if you miss the session, then also you can participate in the quiz and can come to leaderboard, which is not happening anywhere. You will be able to get the notes of each and every session, handwritten notes of master teachers with their feedback, important questions and all. As I said, all the doubts will be solved for sure with the class teachers. This is very much amazing because the free courses including with them is amazing. So with the minimum price, all the classes, all the chapter based courses, crash courses which all the teachers are taking right now for quick revision is happening, including with whatever I told you. So here the less price is giving so much more thing. And what is that? There's a link in the description box pinned by Vedantu 19 channel. Just visit that, select ICSE 10th class, and don't forget to apply AGE Pro code because that will give you discount from 2699 to 2159 as soon as you'll apply AGE Pro code. Okay, so that's OPE. And how you'll do that? I'll try to help you and so that you won't face any problem. Yeah, let me make myself smaller. Yes. So students, I hope you can see this link. As soon as you will click on it, you have to select 10th class and ICSE 2021 as your target. And when you are done with the same, there is this 1 month course here. And this 1 month course you can select. When you will do that, what will happen? Let me show you. Okay, when you do that, you can go for proceed to pay. Just a minute. Okay, I hope you'll be able to see proceed to pay. And when you click on proceed to pay, here you can apply the code AGE Pro. And what will happen if you click on apply? Okay, you see the price decrease to 51. 2159, which is very much amazing because one session is hardly for 10 11 rupees for sure. And you'll get your profile like this, all the sessions here. And in all the sessions, you can have upcoming session and past session also. So as I said, in past session, you can see the replay, you can get the notes of the session as soon as you will click on these get notes, and you will be able to download that. So isn't it great? So everything is so much easy. You will be able to see all your courses in my sessions and my courses. Here you will get the detail of each and every courses. As if I am taking ICSE 10th A, 10C combined, so crash courses are already going on. Okay, let me change and get back to our session. Okay, so I think this information is super duper clear. I just wanted to tell you. Let me, okay. I hope everything is super duper clear and you can see that. Yeah. Let's move ahead now. AGE Pro. Next question, question number 6 is, what's a lone pair of electron, which I already told you? Draw an electron dot diagram of a hydronium ion with lone pair. So lone pair of electron, I already told you, is a pair of electron that's not participating in the bonding. The pair of electron on the atom, which is not a part of bonding, is called as a lone pair of electron. And that will be very helpful if I give you the example of this hydronium ion, which will tell us about one more bonding, coordinate covalent bonding. How? I'm going to tell you a diagram of water, and that will help you to understand this. My water H2O is oxygen attached to two hydrogen. This is my oxygen. It's more of like inverted V shape. Oxygen's valence shell is having 6 electron. I'm going to draw it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, very smartly ma'am showed 2 electron of oxygen on this side because you know that 6 and 2 needs to be shared. And for that 2 hydrogen is there. Hydrogen always share 1 electron to achieve stability. So see, hydrogen is sharing 1 electron with oxygen and completing its duplet. Oxygen is having 6 electron, 7, 8. 1 is sharing from hydrogen. Why? So that their octet can be completed to mutual sharing. And 2 electron being shared, single bond, 2 electron being shared, single bond. I got this bond. Oxygen, hydrogen, hydrogen, and these are 1 and 2 pair of electron that's not participating. 1 pair, 2 pair of electron that's not participating. So my water is having 2 bond pair of electrons and 2 lone pair of electrons. Okay, in my water structure, what I'm having. Yeah. Now, how hydronium bond is formed? Hydronium is H3O positive. Whenever water is there and you put an acid into same, acid will dissociate to give H positive ions, which is very much small. Okay, only hydrogen nucleus. So your water is like, I'm having lone pair of electron and this is mine, but I can share it with you completely so that you will be stable too, so that hydrogen's duplet can be completed too. So 2 electron of oxygen can be shifted to hydrogen and hydrogen can accept that. Okay, so what will be the structure now? OH, 1 electron pair is given or completely being shared to hydrogen. So covalent bonding is what? When a pair of electron is completely being shared to the other atom, not the mutual sharing, complete sharing by one. Why I'm telling sharing? Because this still belongs to oxygen and not to any other atom. And overall a positive charge. Okay. So this electron pair you can show that's left. This is my hydronium ion structure. And this is what this bond is. This bond is coordinate bond, coordinate covalent bond, a type of covalent bond sharing, but coordinate, also called as dative bond. I can mention dative, right? That's awesome. You'll get 2 marks in these 2 steps. Easy peasy? Wonderful. Detailed solution? Next slide also. This is something, somehow we did that. So it must be easy peasy for you. Question is, compare carbon tetrachloride with sodium chloride with regard to solubility in water and electrical conductivity. You can do in this way. Let's compare for the first place my solubility. When I talk about solubility in water, Water is my polar substance. I can tell you with the previous example, polarity, because oxygen is more electronegative than hydrogen. Oxygen is attracting these electron pair more towards itself. So slight negative, slight positive. My water is a polar compound. Okay. So this is my non-polar, and I already told you, like dissolve, like this we proved also. I told you CCl4, carbon and chlorine. When I talk about carbon chlorine's exact structure, the overall polarity on the entire molecule, that will be none. Okay. So that's a non-polar, that won't be soluble in a polar one, because like dissolve, like whatever is the nature of substance, that dissolve the same kind of a substance. So not soluble. Non-polar won't be soluble in polar. Sodium chloride is made up of ions. As soon as you put it into water, water ions start gathering towards this sodium and chloride ion and definitely make them stable. And this is something that will be soluble in water, because dissociate into ions and will be soluble in the same. Fine. When I talk about the number two, that's solubility in water, and then electrical conductivity. When I talk about electrical conductivity, that won't conduct electricity, no conduction of electricity, because for conduction of electricity, there must be free ions. This is not having free ions, so it's not going to be a conductor of electricity. But yes, in the molten form, or solubility in water and electrical conductivity. Electrical conductivity in water will be there, because free ions, yes. But when I talk about my solid form, solid NaCl, no, it won't conduct electricity because no free ions. So you can mention this part also. Will give a better impression that you know everything. Okay, got it? Super easy. Wonderful, wonderful. Let's talk about question number 8. And the question number 8 is, what are the conditions for formation of an electrovalent bond? 3 marks question, very easy. Conditions of electrovalent bond, which is ionic bond only, is what? I'm giving you an example to understand that. First of all, we need a metal and a non-metal, or an electropositive substance and electronegative substance. That means when I talk about metal, how to detect that? Valence electron, 1 to 3 electrons. When I talk about, suppose this is my metal or my substance A. When I talk about non-metal, how to justify? Valence electron must be 5, 6, 7. Okay. And they will lose electron and give cations. Metal will lose electron. One substance should lose electron and convert to cations. Other substance will gain electron and convert to anions. Because gain of electron, gain of negative charge in ions. Now what else? Metals has to lose electron easily, means they must have a very low ionization potential. Metal, low ionization potential, means minimum, very less energy is required to lose electron. Electron wants to lose easily. That's why 1 to 3 electron easy to lose. That's how metal and can lose electron easily. And when I talk about non-metal, high electron gain enthalpy, like they really want to gain electron and wants to be stable, or high electron affinity, you can say that they want to gain electron. Okay. And when they want to combine, they'll combine to give an ionic compound, and energy is released in form of lattice energy, that must be high too. So high lattice energy as well. So you got these points, and there'll be large difference in their electronegativity too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more, large difference in electronegativity of these two substances. Metal, highly electropositive, non-metal, highly electronegativity. So there'll be large difference in their electronegativity, more than 1.9. So they'll give a good ionic compound. So these are the conditions that is needed and written over there. Okay, awesome. Now let's move to next question, and the next question is what? State the type of compounds formed by transfer of valence electron from one atom to other, and explain the method of formation of the same. And this is very easy, I think you know it. Explain the method of the same, state the role of cation and anion in the formation. Let me just do that. Because of the transfer of electrons, I am going to get my ionic compound, also called as covalent, also called as electrovalent compound. So here will be the transfer of electron. You can show that with the diagram. You just write their valence electron and tell I'm showing electron dot structure to prove that. Sodium wants to lose its electron, will do it completely to my non-metal. Non-metal will take it. And you'll write a fish arrow, this one arrow, because just one electron is being donated. Two electron, complete arrow. My metal get a positive charge. My non-metal having these 7 electron of its own, one from sodium gain a negative charge. This is my ionic compound by transfer of electron. Explain the method of formation of same. I did that. I told you how the transfer of electron is happening from metal to non-metal. The role of cations and anions in their formation. Cations are the one that is formed by the loss of electron, and anions are the one that is formed by the gain of electron, and they will attract each other with a very strong force of attraction called as electrostatic force of attraction, which is the one is responsible for these ionic compounds and having very high melting point, boiling point, a very crystalline structure also. Okay, so these are the point that we should write it and we should not miss it. Yeah. And non-metallic atoms are the one that makes anion by gain of electron. Metals are the one that forms cation by the loss of electrons. So cation and anions are formed that is of opposite charge. Who will make cation? Metals, non-metal, anion. They are the only one that combine to form ionic compound. If they won't be there, there will be no ionic or electrovalent compound. This is something that makes sense and I hope you understood it properly. Yes. So with this, I discussed electrovalent, covalent, coordinate, hydronium ion. Try to draw the structure of ammonium ion also. Okay. Try to draw the structure of ammonium ions. And one more question for you. Then ammonium chloride, because this ammonium chloride is a kind of a compound having all the three types of bonding. Ionic, this, covalent, this, because first NH3 combined with H positive. NH3 covalent, NH3 combined with H positive. This will be my coordinate bonding. Then finally we got NH4 that combined with Cl negative and that will be ionic bonding. So understood that. Polar covalent, non-polar. We did talk about each and everything. So I hope you understood this. There will be one homework question and again I'm going to highlight that for sure in the next session. Whoever give the best responses and give very quick response and appreciate that. State the reason for chemical bonding between two atoms and the method involved for achieving the same. State how duplet and octet rules are involved for an atom to achieve stable configuration. You can take a quick screenshot. That will be great. You got it? And just write them properly. Okay. I'll wait for it. Yes. So students, today's session chemical bonding done. Last session I took for periodic classifications. If you haven't seen that, please see 12th Feb study of acid bases salts part 1. There'll be one more part for the same. So do wait for the same also. Put the reminder right away. And you know how to take the subscription of Vedantu. Link in the description box. I have guided you properly. AGE Pro code will give you the discount and you'll get a session in as low as 11 rupees in a month. And you should take that definitely. Okay. So here is it. Everything you know. Don't forget to subscribe the video if you're new. Don't forget to like it and share it among your friends. Thank you so much, my lovely students, my lovely atoms. It's so great to have you all and to do all the work for ICSC too. We'll meet you in the next session. Until then, stay connected, stay tuned. Bye bye. Take care. Stay happy.